Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin Matthew. Thank you for joining us. Coming up, the DLP Administration remains committed to the security of nationals. Dominica Social Security continues to ensure the longevity of the system, and the Fire and Ambulance Service reports on performance for 2015. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this. Thank you for staying with us. The DLP administration remains committed to the security of its citizens. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit confirmed on Focus on Government and Development radio program last week that government will continue to take the necessary steps to ensure the security of the state and the efficiency of the justice system.
We are prepared to introduce legislation. We continue to recruit magistrates to be more readily available to dispense of matters. You know, at the High Court, you know, we used to have one judge. We have two. You know, I've been told that there may be a need to have a judge visiting from time to time to deal with some matters. And once we get the request, then we will consider it, because we have to provide the resources for that. We'll continue to provide the police with the resources required. You know, I have always been a strong supporter of the Minister of Finance in providing the police with the resources that they require.
The Dominica leader says assistance has been forthcoming from several countries, including the United States, to strengthen the island's security.
We have the cooperation of many countries. The United States continue to be exceptional with its partnership with Dominica insofar as the security of Dominica. The British government, the French, the Dutch, our regional partners, you know, all of them have been playing a very important role with the Chinese government in assisting us financially for training opportunities, through the tools, provision of the tools of trade required for enhanced security of the state. The United States in particular have been at the forefront of training of Dominican police officers over an extended period of time, and they continue to do so.
For the year 2015, the Fire and Ambulance Department has worked industriously to protect lives and property. The department presented its report for the past year at a press conference on Wednesday morning. Fire Chief Josiah Dupuy revealed that the unit responded to 7,042 ambulance calls in 2015. That figure represents the sum total of each of the 7 districts: Castle-Bruce, St. Joseph, Granby, Lapland, Melville Hall, Portsmouth and Roseau.
If we do a comparison with the previous period, 2014, we will realize that there was a total of 8,635 ambulance calls that were responded to. And easy maths would have us realize that there was a drop in ambulance calls by a total of 1,593 for the period last 2015. The data has indicated to us that this drop has been mainly due to unavailability of ambulance in some of our districts for certain periods of time during the year 2015.
For the year 2015, the department responded to over 300 fire calls.
In 2014, there was a total of 199 fire calls. Last year was truly unique, and one of the things that our data indicated to us was that in the month of May in particular, there was a sharp spike in bushfire calls in particular. In Roseau at headquarters, for example, we responded to a total of 97 bushfires. Just headquarters within a 30-day period, we responded to 97 bushfires. And the same pattern was observed at some of our other stations. So that dramatic increase is mainly due, not only, but it is mainly due to the dry spell which we had in May. It was very short but very intense.
In that annual report, the Fire Prevention Unit of the department got glowing commendations for its performance this past year.
In the year 2015, I'm going to highlight 3 areas. One of them deals with the persons that were trained, and that unit trained a total of 2,294 individuals. We compare that to the last period, 2014, where they trained 2,650. We do review plans that come from the physical planning division, and for the period 2015, we reviewed 70 plans. The period before 2014, we reviewed 83. We also conducted inspections, safety inspections, and for the period 2015, we did 293 inspections compared to the last period, 234.
As a matter of fact, Chief DLP, his deputy Farley Riviere, as well as the Honorable Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore, had nothing but praise for the team of the Fire and Ambulance Service. He used the words routine precision to describe the team's work.
In May, as I said, we had a very short but very intense dry period, and during that time, we were severely challenged. Some of you fire officers would remember there were times when we engaged Granby to come to assist us. There were times we engaged St. Joseph to come to assist us in Roseau at Fire Brigade headquarters, because there were instances where we had 4, 5, 6 fires, bushfires that is, that required response simultaneously. So we were really challenged. And I must say that during that time, we truly saw fire officers being at their best in terms of their commitment, in terms of sticking to what their duty is, which principally is to save lives, to protect property, and to render humanitarian services. When you add our bushfires, our ambulance calls, and other services that we would have provided, one can certainly appreciate the amount of work that fire officers did during the month of May.
Chief DLP went on to add that in the wake of Tropical Storm Erica, the team did a remarkable job in search and rescue, and the garage and maintenance staff have been doing fine work. The Fire and Ambulance Service acknowledged that much of its success is due to a comfortable and productive partnership with the Ministry of National Security. According to the Honorable Minister Reuben Blackmore, quite a bit has been accomplished since the partnership, and lots more will be done.
And that is why we as a government, we are committed to the task in ensuring that we provide all the tools of trade you need in order to get you to perform your work well and efficiently.
Contributors to the Dominica Social Security can expect to pay an increase in contributions as of January 2016 as the institution continues to implement its plans to sustain the National Pension Scheme. GIS News spoke with Deputy Director of the Dominica Social Security, Augustus Etienne, on Wednesday. He explained that this increase has been implemented gradually at a rate of 0.25% a year since 2012.
That 0.25% is taking place over a 20-year period, so that after the 20 years, we will achieve a 5% increase in the contribution rate overall. Since 2012 and until 2019, the 0.25% is being applied firstly on the employee side of the contribution equation, because all along the employer's rate has always been that much higher than the employee's contribution rate. So the increase is being applied first to the employee side of the equation, and when the employee contribution rate almost matches up with the employer's, we will be alternating the 0.25% increase annually between the employee and the employer. So as of January this year, the employee contribution rate, the rate that employers have to deduct from the wages and salaries of their employees, moved from 5%, which it was last year, to 5.25%, 5.25%, while the employer contribution rate remains the same.
There has also been a 0.25% increase for self-employed contributors from 11% to 11.25%, and for voluntary contributors from 9.65% to 9.9%. The second change as of January this year is the increase in pensionable age. Currently, the pensionable age is 62. As of January 2016, the age has moved to up to 62.5 years. Augustus says by the year 2020, the pensionable age for Dominicans will settle at age 65.
What this means is that for a person to qualify for a full age pension from the Dominica Social Security in 2016, that person has to be at the age of 62 years and a half. Now, as we speak now in January, between January and June 2016, nobody will be 62 and a half to qualify for age pension in between January and June. Because if you turn 62 and a half between January and June, it means you would have been 62 sometime in 2015. And in 2015 at 62 you would have been eligible for a pension because that was the age that was in place at that time. So that somebody born after June, then by between July and December they can get the half year added to the 62 that they would have been.
He says these measures are to firstly narrow the financing gap in the system, that is, the gap which exists between the contributions of employers and employees, and secondly, to ensure the relevance of the benefits being paid. Meantime, pensioners receiving benefits as of 2014 can expect an increase in payout in 2016.
All pensions that were in payment as at the end of 2014 and would have been affected by inflation over that period of time, as of March 1st, 2016, they're going to receive a 1% increase on their pensions. And that 1% represents the average of the inflation rate over the preceding 3 years. When we did the calculation based on the report from the Central Statistics Office, the actual average is 0.7 something of a percent, but we just rounded it up to 1%.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
Welcome back. The Roosevelt Skerrit-led government continues to promote the use of renewable energy. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit confirmed last week that his administration has also led by example by utilizing solar energy across the country.
More recently, we opted to go the route of utilizing solar lights for the airport, solar technology for the airport night lights, night landing system. You know, we have introduced solar technology in the Kalinago territory. Several homes are now connected through that medium, through that means. You know, but the broader one, the bigger project there has to do with geothermal. We're hoping in the first quarter of this year to go to Parliament to pass the legislation. It had to go through a rigorous review by our partners that has been concluded.
After about 7 months of managing without one, the St. Joseph Health District has a new ambulance which it was promised late last year. The keys to the new retrofitted fully equipped ambulance were handed over to the Fire and Ambulance Service on Wednesday.
It was in October of 2015. I stood here before you, and handed over after the event 2 ambulances. And I gave the commitment at that function that in due time we were going to ensure that all the districts are actually equipped with ambulances. And I'm happy, as I heard just now from the Minister and a Member of Parliament for the St. Joseph constituency, that we have kept that promise. And for that, I'm very glad.
This means that all 7 health districts now have their own ambulances to serve their communities. Dr. Laura Esprit is Director of Primary Health Services on the island.
This is a most welcoming gift for the district at this time. As we may know, post-passage of Tropical Storm Erica, the St. Joseph district has been critically affected, primarily to the communities of Coliho and Kulibistri. Having a new ambulance will certainly add to the efficiency of the health staff, complementing them, enabling the prompt response not only to possible fires, but efficient medical and disaster response throughout the district.
The Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the St. Joseph constituency was especially satisfied that he was able to fulfill his promise to his constituents in short time.
I must express my joy and my gratitude, firstly, to the Minister of National Security, because he will let you know that on several occasions I approached him, raising my concern as to the lack of an ambulance for the St. Joseph area. And in November of last year, when I had the opportunity to meet with the St. Joseph Health team, and in particular the district nurse, one of the items on the agenda was the ambulance services for the St. Joseph district.
Honorable Darrow went on to specially mention the fire officers stationed in his constituency. He praised their community spirit and presence, which he says adds to the life of the St. Joseph community. The Bureau of Gender Affairs is reporting great success from its 16 days of activism held from November 25th, which was International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and ended on Human Rights Day, December 10. The objective of the campaign was to galvanize action to end violence against women and girls around the world. GIS News spoke with Acting Director of the Bureau, Kira Paul.
The whole approach to 16 days of activism was pretty much targeted to the youth especially, but it was also very much inclusive because it embraced the involvement of all, whether it's at an individual or at an organizational level, whether it was gender advocates, the children from schools, the average person walking on the streets. Yeah, so it was very inclusive.
Paul says the 16 days were filled with activities as well as new initiatives.
We raised almost 300 orange and a few white balloons in between, which kind of signifies purity. But the orange would have depicted the color which is the color to reject violence against women and girls. We also had some new initiatives too, in terms of there was a cheerleading competition at the Paybush Primary School among the 3 houses.
The government of the Commonwealth of Dominica is creating a national database of residential properties available for rent in an effort to assist families displaced by Tropical Storm Erika. All homeowners and agents are hereby invited to register with the Ministry of Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs by contacting telephone numbers 266-3205 or 266-3249 between Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or email forrent@dominica.gov.dm. Registration ends February 15, 2016. The Office of the Prime Minister invites tenders for the purchase of one 2005 Mitsubishi Nativa registration number GA507 and one 2008 Mitsubishi Pajero GA390. The vehicles are located at the police compound in Monbruce. Tenders are to be submitted in sealed envelopes and clearly marked tender for the purchase of vehicle and addressed to the Secretary to the Cabinet, Office of the Prime Minister, 6th floor, Financial Center, Roseau. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here, the GIS News production team, I'm Mervin Matthew. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.